For.
Yes, people. Sorry, we started a bit late today. We did say we was gonna start at 1. Welcome to Minds Matters with Miss Trixie. I have co-host Anubis in the house.
Yes, yes, my people. What's good?
And we also have Colette Daisy Hunter from JRYHS. No, JRHYS. Sorry, I always get them backwards. Say hi, mummy.
Hello, everyone. How
All
are you?
right. So
Peace out.
today, we're gonna be discussing knife crime, the effects and the adverse effects that it has on the communities, and we're gonna just have an open discussion. So if you are on our live, big up all the live listeners. Y'all can call in, y'all can comment, y'all can get involved in this discussion right here, right now. So please do drop your comments. So let's start. Me and mummy, would you like to let the people know what you do and what you're about, what your charity's about, and how it came about?
Well, I moved here from Jamaica. The year was 2009, and I came here with my boys to embrace their culture. Being in Jamaica, being British citizen, I said, let's go over to the UK and embrace a little bit more of what's, there. You get a chance to
It's like an
visit.
opportunity, right?
Yeah, you go different, go to Spain, go to France, and spread the wings
Explore.
even more than ever. Um, I found out later on how much my sons, especially James, loved, you know, giving, sharing,
Sharing.
you know,
He did.
empowering others. And when I lost him 5 years later to knife crime, I it broke my spirit to a point where the mission wasn't this. We didn't come to the UK for this to happen. And I reflect on our conversations in our homes. And I realize that James had a passion for people to give, to share. The doorbell would ring, it would be sneakers coming home back, his jeans coming back, his coat coming back. And he would come home and he would say, Mom, I wish those boys had a mom like you because he spent a lot of time at the youth center in Sydenham, TNG Youth Center. That we live pretty much just across from the park. So he spent a lot of time in the park. At the youth center, they had a studio, and he loved going down there and hanging out, make music. And
Yeah, from what
I
I
remember
remember,
I
he
said,
used to love his beats, boy. He used to always play beats when he was around me, expecting me to spit bars. He used to love that. He used to love the music vibe.
amazing. And then, I would say to him, I'm just so worried about your light because you just want to love everyone. You just want to be there. And he said, No, mommy, it's okay. And he said, Sometimes some of the boys up to naughty things, mom, but that don't make them a bad person. He didn't see anything wrong with anyone.
He always saw the potential in people.
He bond, as the movie said, the good, the bad, and the ugly, you know. And it reached a point where I started to look at him even different as a mother. I started to embrace his emotions even more and try to even be there with him. I remember we were driving through Catford, and there is this field that I used to go with him and his friends to play football. And we were on the bus, and he said, Mommy, they sold that place. And it's amazing. When I try to talk remembering his conversation, I recall catch on to the London way of speaking. I get to
Yeah.
hang with the friends that you send and the boys and everybody. This they sold that, Mom, where my friend gonna go? And he had like tears in his eyes.
Oh, bless him.
And I I didn't know that at that point, reflecting on that moment was the day that
Yeah,
I
I
was gonna
think
love.
at that time in the area they were shutting down a lot of the youth clubs. There wasn't
Yeah.
much activities for them to do. I think even schools started to stop doing after school clubs and stuff. So
Yeah.
it was very hard
And
for them
and,
to
and then
find
and then
anything
this
to do.
and then this was a youth club in Sydenham where, he helped to rally with the other young ones to get it built.
Hmm.
So he was very passionate. And I remember reflecting on his thoughts about not being able to go with his friends to play football anymore. And I remember I wrote on the bus, I cannot change this world, but I can change my attitude regarding this world. Not knowing that this was the day I was going to lose him. You know, when you write the phone document the time, and that was the time, the day that I lost him, May 31st, 2014. And reflecting on a week or two before I lost him, I went into his room, he was on his laptop, and I said, if I could talk to him, I wanted to talk to him. I sat on the bed and I said to him, I'm going to lose you because of that love. You're so young with that love, you give your all, you give everything. He was in
Part of
school
his youth.
tutoring who doesn't understand math because coming from Jamaica, when he's doing his math, we don't use calculator in school. So his algebra, the crowd around him, because no calculator, and he was like, oh, James. So at one point he was
Right.
staying back in school and helping
Oh, bless him.
um, others, with the grade so they can understand. When the teacher teach, they don't understand. He will teach them. And I started to reflect and pray a lot, more than ever because we're coming from a Christian home. So usually when the saying is say, why worry when you can pray?
Yeah.
So instead of worrying, I started to pray because I see his love and who he is. He's on the road, the man, you wouldn't talk to the homeless guy. You stop and you say, how you doing? I'm off to college, you're right. And I would just look up to the heavens and shake my head. And when I went into his room that day and I said, James, I'm going to lose you because of that love, he said to me, Mommy, I know you're right. And I'm prepared to face the consequences of my behavior. When he told me that, I didn't say one other word. I just got up and I went to his brother room and I said, James is on a journey. And we can lose him anytime. And my son asked me up to a year ago, he said, Mommy, when you came in and said to turn the Xbox off and you told me that, James is on the journey, we're going to lose him. What did you know? He said, I pray a lot. And it came to me and I just confronted him and he said, yes. And he would say, Mommy, I'm not going to live till I'm old. And every sunshine, he pulled curtains, every windows, what to wear, Mommy. Such a gorgeous day. And I'm looking at this boy full of so much life and love. So every time I wake up, I hug him and I kiss him. I hug him. And he tell his girlfriend at the time that every time I pass Mom, she grabbed me and hugged me. Because it reached a point, and sometimes I reflect back on when Mary was pregnant and Joseph was like, you can't be pregnant. You're meant to be a virgin. And I remember when he got a vision from the Holy Spirit to say, make that woman your wife, because the child she's carrying is a holy child. And when people ask me, how did you know what James' journey was? How did you know you were going to lose him? I only can say, I pray, and it came to me. And not only did he confirm it, that, yes, Mom, and it's okay. I couldn't stop him from being who he was. And I said, let me send him down to Jamaica, let him break the chain of connection a bit just to be. He went down and on his way up, he said, Grandma, I won't be coming back. And this child literally said, Mommy, I don't want to live till I'm old. I see him for who he was, living in the light of his life. And that day when I came home from work, his dad, we met for lunch and we're saying, okay, we're going to plan a little party, get his friends together. And I came home and I've never ordered Chinese before in our home. And something just said, order some Chinese, get James home,
At
get James
first,
home. And I remember
some
ordered the
Chinese.
Chinese because even at the trial, at the trial they had our conversation, at the Old Bailey to see how we're communicating in day as well. And he said, Mommy, order anything for me, man, it's okay. And I remember I was lying down and I jumped up. And when I jumped up, I said, oh, James in the comment. the Chinese must be cold. And that
Mm-mm.
was when his girlfriend called me and said, Mom, James was
Oh
stabbed.
my
James
gosh,
has been
at the
stabbed.
moment. Don't lie.
And I said
Wow.
to my son, James has been stabbed just across from the youth center. And you don't have to come, but I'm going to go. And he said, No, mommy, I want to come. And we went down. And when I walked past the youth center, that's DNG, the police, the ambulance, all was there, the lights flashing. I said to my son, um, James is gone. Before anyone told me, and I remember I held him and we, you know, hit the road. We just sat there and they said, Is that Colette? The police said, Is that Colette? I said, Yes. And I walked over and they said, Well, I wanted to see him. I knew he was on his journey. And but maybe if he heard my voice, he will say, Okay, mom, I'll stick around for another couple of years or two, okay? But they said no. They didn't want me to see him the way he was because they tried to bring him back to life. And Trixie, I went home and the tears didn't come. It was more of an internal cry. The tears wouldn't come because it's like God is saying, I prepared you for this, you know.
Yeah, that
So,
story's big.
but I
Like,
grunted and I held my, it was hard to explain because in the middle of it, I'm saying, wow. But then I said, God, you prepared me. But oh, this really hurt. And I remember the first dream came from him because he didn't leave me. The visions were nonstop. Oh, he used to make the sound of the crow to make me laugh.
I remember.
And that crow was outside his window for weeks because the only comfort I got was sleeping in his bed. And I remember how he used to make the sound of the crow and do the wing. And Trixie, every time I hear a crow, even up to today, I have to laugh because I still see him doing this action. And the dream, he was around the table with all black boys, all different shades black, all in white, and he was a superior being. Could be a man or a woman because I saw my colleague at work, and she's a girl. And I said, You look like the image in my dream. And in the dream, James was on the right side and he was talking about his life. He was talking. I lived everyone life down there. I understand what he was like preaching about his connection with everybody that was here. Even though he's not, he was talking and celebrating what he has done, being himself while here. And I woke up with so much comfort. Even at the trial, he came to me and he didn't, he's like, Mommy, you know, I'm like, oh my God, you're alive. And in the dream, he said, Yes, mommy, but don't let those boys know. And he didn't say it in a bad, evil, nasty way. He said, but they need to be, be punished for what they did, for their behavior. He didn't say, in a negative way. And then I realized that I was comforted later on after his funeral when my mom came from Jamaica. And I said, prior to her coming up, I said, bring his books, bring it, because I started this organization now prior to the funeral because of all the individuals that I met who know him. Old people,
Including
young
myself.
boy,
I'll put
young
I'll put
girl. Oh
myself
my,
in that batch definitely. He did touch a lot of people. He was a special youth.
I
He was
want to
very
start meeting these
quiet. I'm not
people.
gonna lie, he was quiet, so he kept a lot to himself. But
Yes,
getting to the point that you were saying when you got the stuff from Jamaica, he drew a lot. So
yes, because even at the youth center, the lady said it took her 2 months to know his name. He would come and observe, wouldn't talk. And when they have events in the park, he sit away from the crowd, observing. So that day, he went and saved that boy when he didn't come home for dinner. He went to get something to drink. What did he came upon that day? Was that boy being stabbed? That boy was actually stabbed 3 times. When he challenged the group of boys with the knives, he went in fearlessly to say, Stop. No, that boy was now kicking on the ground for his life. James went over. When that boy, the old Bailey didn't want to talk, they call it snitch, he didn't want to talk. All he said, I was on the ground kicking for my life. James came over and punched them off me. and they butchered him. You wouldn't call no name. You wouldn't tell the judge who had the knife. But they gathered so many information on that day when James died. They had so many witnesses who wanted to come and speak.
Really?
What that did for me was to say, let's see what I can do for the community. Let's see how I can get everybody together, keep the light going.
That's
Because
how I met you.
out of that book that my mom brought from Jamaica, James drew the date he died. The last 3 pages in one of 5 books, I found it. 5 years later, on one page, he wrote,
And you have a
we
book
came
named after that.
2009. 2009, we came here, died 2014.
Mm.
9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. He didn't put anything else on that page. And then the next page, he drew the boy with the knife in the same hand. He smeared the knife, he write blood on the knife, and he draw drops coming from the knife. And he draw the scenery. Him punching in the crowd. He threw 5 fireballs that connected with 5 individuals in that crowd in his drawing. And there was 5 boys that was charged.
Charged for it.
He drew a dragon in that scenery. In the corner, he wrote his wishes. The first one for all evil things on earth to be dead. And in that drawing, I say, the dragon, the force that he went in and saved that boy, that they ran, the one that remained, he was now sweeping the floor, punching, punching, sweeping the floor, punching, punching to get the knife. But the boy switched the hand, stabbed him in the heart, he went within minutes. And that dragon in that picture to me represent the fact that if James had probably got that knife out of anger, out of frustration, he probably would have taken a life. But he was meant to be that individual. He was meant to be a peacemaker, which was what he was all his life. Blessed are the peacemakers, shall be called the children of God. So he went out as a peacemaker, saving a life within minutes. That gentleman or that boy at the time, at the age of 17, 16, is now a father. So he lost his life within 3 minutes. But what we are doing with this organization is to sensitize as much as we can visually, because we spoke about this before his death. We spoke about the fact that there is no visuality in London regarding knife crime. Somebody died, and it's like nothing, it gets swept under the rug. So I was then taken in this arena of ensuring that visuality is carried forward in our schools. I do the enrichment workshop currently with Lucian Council and the local police team. We do the workshop about mindfulness, emotions, support, knowing when to walk away, knowing that there's always somewhere that will care for you and whatever you're going through. The days of pain
Guide
that we
them in
can
the right
see,
direction, I suppose, because
yeah,
they've lost
my
a lot
days
of
of pain,
guidance out here, and it's
yeah,
amazing what he stands for. And obviously, the whole charity that you have is based around him and this whole sensuality of he was connected to a higher spirit. That's the way I see it.
yeah,
You know, there's some children out here that are connected in a way they don't understand it. There's no guidance in explaining it. When you talk about the dragon, that's the background spiritual family that he came from. We are all connected through that in some senses, and these children shouldn't really be running up and down taking lives anyway. It's out of God's. It's not for you. God
it's
gave us
not
life. God
something
takes it
normal.
away, and that story is amazing because even that day I'm attached to him. That's how I met you anyway, mum. So I call her mum. Everyone, but it's Daisy Colette. If you want to find her through the JRHYS page. Yeah, and she works with TNG, which is up on Wells Park Road in Sydenham, which is where I was born and raised. So obviously, I always give back to the community. I'm one of those that tries to give back. And James was around a lot of my youngers, and he was an amazing youth. Like really, it's like literally the wrong ones get taken. Like, and I don't understand that. But y'all need to stop that and save your brothers because the brothers slaying brothers out here isn't a good look at all. You know, and that day I remember the eeriness. I remember my youngest phoning me. I think I got there just before the police and the ambulance, mum. So I saw the whole scene that you didn't need to see. Um, that's the truth. I'm glad you didn't see it. I heard you cry. Your cry echoed through the blocks. It was like days before the block felt normal again. You get me? Like it was mad grey outside. I remember seeing the lights flickering against the sky. Like there's bare little visual signs that I saw that day that made me aware that something went right. You get me? And my brother was his brother. You know, like he Tones took it real hard. Big up my boy Tones from Sids. You get me? He took it real hard. You get me? And I remember him lashing out the police. I remember him lashing out his friends. He even lashed out at me at one point. And as an elder, because I realised I was in that elder position that I could guide these children not to do the same stupidness that we used to do. Because my sister, she died on the same block. It was through natural causes, but it was stress related and how we grew. You know, so she never went doctors, never got checked, and I was out there doing the same thing. And my elders came out and was telling me that they need to move, and I said nah, but that was me. They said yeah, but that's different. I said this is no different. It's just that they're expressing it in a different way, and we're not understanding their expression. You see what I'm saying? And it's real sad, you know. And maybe we have to just talk through pictures. Maybe we'll have to go back to the basic form of teaching because there's a lot that these kids could have learned through that. And I sat down with all of them about 2 years before that. I was living on the block. I sat down with your son and a lot of his friends, my brother, you get me? And I said to them, look left, look right, you get me? Because one day one of you's not going to be here and it's going to hit you hard and you're not going to realise until they're gone. And I said, I remember my elders sitting there telling me the same thing and it never hit me until it hit me. You get me? Like, so I'm trying to tell them, don't let it hit you first. Like, actually hear. You get me? Like, I don't know how else we're going to get through to them. What do you think?
Well, right now it's quite deep because I'm taking on the story at the same time. Do you know what I mean? And reflecting both on personal experiences and experiences that are going on around us. And right now, I'm just grateful. Nice to meet you, by the way. I'm jaanubis. Your story is just touching, and I'm just soaking it in right now. Yeah. So back to what I was saying, and it's basically in every borough. You know what I mean? And everyone right now that is from, the lower side of our economy, if you like,
Yeah, you can say it that way.
is kind of facing these experiences. So we all got that shared experience. Yeah. And I'm glad there's organizations like Platform Twos and like Daisies as well, and like myself and other organizations that are starting to put things in place so the young ones can kind of stray away from the roadside because the numbers are going up.
Differently,
You know what I mean?
differently. Like we've been checking the numbers in that mum as well. We've done our own little research. You get me? Like,
Yeah, it's mad.
the numbers are crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Like we're talking about 22,000 offences and disposable knives being ripped out of hands every year. Every year.
Every year.
There's a lot of weapons out there. That's first and foremost. You know what I mean? They shouldn't be used in this way at all. You get me? There's 259 homicides in 1 year.
Whoa.
Via knives, just knives alone. It's like it's crazy.
And
like I don't get it. There's been so much. Like I don't know what made it became a trend.
Well, you got ethnic minorities. They're saying that violence and injuries from this is 2018 report, guys. So I don't know what's coming up 2021. I haven't found anything
Well,
yet.
2021 they were supposed to have a meeting, but they didn't hold it.
Yeah, 4,383 offences. 4,320 with which is a difference of 1% from the previous 12 months. Do you know what I mean? So
And
the numbers are still going up.
All my numbers were stacked up through
From
London
2018.
alone, but they didn't get no numbers from Manchester. For some reason, Manchester's way behind in even putting their data into the database, so we don't actually know how many stabbings are going on in Manchester at all. And then bear in mind, I lost my cousin in Manchester. He was only 14 years old. You get me? So I think we all know Rachel Webb and the Kyron Webb story. You get me? And we had to bring him back down from Manchester to Beckenham. He's buried in Beckenham. You get me? And like, fam, it's like I'm looking at my little cousin like, right, man didn't even finish secondary school. Like,
Getting younger.
it is. It is. Like
younger.
they're saying most of these offences, out of the 22,000, 20% is between the age 10 and 14 that they're finding these knives on.
We're losing a generation when
I
you
don't
think
even
about
understand how a 10-year-old's getting hold of a knife.
it. You know what I mean?
And they take it into school. They take it into school
They
as
take it
well.
to school as well.
Yeah. And I had a talk with one that actually brought it to school twice, and I said, why? It makes him feel powerful.
Man said it's an imagery thing. I gotta laugh because y'all ain't gonna get no
It
stripes
is.
or no imagery. The respect that you're trying to get through running around with knives, you're not getting it.
It's gonna
It's
get the wrong
it's
attention.
actually you're reversing it. You're making
Yeah.
yourself look 10 times worse. That's the joke. But I don't know how else to get through to these kids. It's mad. Did you see the whole Hyde Park incident?
No, I didn't.
There was like a
No.
big rumble in Hyde Park of children over the 6 weeks holidays, and there was a bag of knives.
That was at the beginning, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah.
bag of
I have.
knives.
I saw
Like
it,
as
saw
soon
it,
as
saw it,
they got
saw it.
off school,
Yeah, saw it, saw it.
and I'm like, what is going on? Do you
But
know what I mean?
you know what it is, Trixie? We have to keep visual awareness ongoing. We have to get into schools. We have to ensure that the school make this a part of the curriculum. They have to say once a year at least, we're going to have an enrichment day. At least once a year, every September term, or more frequently, yes, but at least aim for every school year. An enrichment day where you have people that come in, talk about knife crime, talk about county line, talk about peer pressure, talk about grooming. Half of these things that I'm actually delivering school now, I didn't even know when I moved here. You
Yeah,
know,
there's so
I
Agree.
much
moved
more
here and,
behind it.
and I'll
It's
be like,
truth.
Yeah.
go make friends, go do it. Young kids have to realize that they can be groomed by their best friends,
Definitely.
you know, and they must recognize when they're being tempted to do certain things to get any money, any extra money, and they have to be aware of the consequences. Most times they don't even know the ages that they can be arrested for carrying knives, at the age of 10, you know. And when we do role playing in the school, even you have time when people are told that, yes, I've been stigmatized because I'm black with the black, stop and search, you
Yeah, I
know.
hear that a lot.
But you know something, Trixie? If you are being stopped and searched, do you think the police just randomly stop you like that? Most of the time, it's information.
Yeah, it's
Most of
truth.
the time, if you feel that you've been harassed by the police, it's either your neighbors calling, it's somebody know something about you that you think that nobody know, and they report you, and the police have your details, and that's why they will stop and they will search you. You know, there was this role playing exercise we did, and in this case, the police stopped this schoolboy, and when they search him, they explain to the kids, okay, if you're being stopped and searched, go along. You don't need to be disrespectful. Okay, you want to see that? You want to see that? You're not happy with the stop and search. The police show the number, the tag on the badge. Yeah, record the badge if you feel that it's not done properly. And oftentimes, the sergeant will tell you that whoever the police is, they will be, disciplined if you feel that you were treated in any form of way. And in this instance where this schoolboy was stopped and he was searched, when they searched him, what he had in his waist was a shiny object. But you know what it was? It was just a ruler. The
The steel
steelless.
rulers.
Yeah. So the police explained to him that someone called, and with this description, schoolboy with red rucksack have a silver thing in his waist. And on investigation, it was just a ruler. So, this is just an example to show that when the police stopped him,
Sometimes they do have some sort of information
no,
to be looking
most
for,
time it's
but sometimes
information
they
they
do
go
use
off.
that a bit differently because they do say black people look
Yeah.
alike, and do you know
And
what I mean.
if
So but now they have had a new thing where they have to go via a lot more detailed descriptions. So
yes,
literally, like when you said he had a red backpack, do you know what I mean? Like there has to be more of a detailed description
yes,
nowadays than he's
Yeah.
just a black guy
yes.
with this
And
hair,
you
and
are
black.
also
You know.
you're also entitled to the paperwork
Oh yeah,
regarding that
always. I
stop and
tell
search.
people that all the time because anytime I got stopped and searched, I took the paperwork. And one time we come out of centre and I got stopped and searched because they were talking about the description. Three boys just robbed somebody round the corner, and then
Yes,
they were like, "Oh yeah, well," and then I'm like, "I'm not a boy." So like, so
yeah,
when they read the description, I refused to get searched. I was like, "Until you bring a female, I'm not getting searched." You know. Like, because your description's for three males, so it definitely couldn't have been me, them ones there. But they literally took my boy away because he had, them pens for the phones.
Yeah.
They thought
yeah,
it was a sharp tool, so they arrested him. He was in school, like we was in centre, but we was in school. Do you know what I
Well,
mean? We had to go back after lunch and tell the tutors like my boy's not coming back to school because he just got arrested for the pen thing from his phone.
yeah. But but you know what that means, Trixie? more than likely someone complained about it.
Hmm. No, they did say that there was a description of three males that robbed somebody round the corner, but it was two males and a female, so we didn't match the description. But because they found a pen on him and they thought it was a sharp tool, they decided to arrest him anyway. So
Wow,
sometimes you
Mm.
that's
just gotta
just
be
too.
careful because
Yeah,
obviously once you're under that search, stop and search section 9, they have got rights if they find anything else like drugs
Mm.
or
only
weapons
if you
or
agree to it
you
though.
get me. It depends because
And
either way they can still arrest you to get your identity.
yes,
They have
Mm,
public sections that they can
sections,
arrest
yeah,
you. So it's better
yeah,
that
yes,
you just cooperate with them.
yeah.
that's
Otherwise,
Cooperate,
what
yeah.
I'm
if you
saying.
agitate the police officer, he's
That's
going
what
to
I'm
draw
saying.
out a certain section just to get you arrested. You see what I'm
Yeah,
saying? And then they are going to leave you in the cell for 24 hours because they can.
exactly.
Run up your mouth in there, then it's 36. Well, you see what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So you lot put yourself in more problems for no reason.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like
So
I
we
told my
need,
block one time, it was the same guy that got stabbed 3 times with James. He was in another predicament on the block, and the police they came, and I got arrested because I was trying to protect him because
yeah,
they were wrongfully abusing him. They had him in a corner. There was 3 of them, and I could see he was panicked as a child. So as an adult that works with TNG, I
Yeah.
went over there. They ended up arresting me.
So they
So
switched.
I literally
Wow.
came out within like a couple of hours. I told my people, I said I'll be back by 12. Do you see what I'm saying?
yeah,
Everyone looked at me like, no, she won't. We'll see her tomorrow. I came back on the block at 12 o'clock. I was like, yo, where is everyone? You know, like,
yeah,
you have to deal with them in a certain way. Do you know what I
yeah,
mean? You can't
Mm.
be
yeah,
running up your gums, acting
No, you have
aggressive,
to be
and
civil when
because
you're
they will
talking to
use
them.
them type of words
exactly,
against you. You know what I
exactly.
mean? She was moving aggressive. They were loud, and you get me. I feared for myself because he weren't calming down, and he's bigger than me. You
I
know,
agree
like
with
they
you
use
because
them terminologies.
at the end of the day, there was a post on Instagram. I don't know if you saw it, and there was a gentleman talk. They were lawyer, black lawyer, very popular defensive lawyer. I don't know his name, but it is floating around on Instagram, and he basically said you don't know the language that they speak, especially when you get
It's true.
into the courtroom.
They
Do you
speak
know what I mean?
legalese. Yeah.
Yeah. So you got to understand the language, and once you understand their language and what they speak, plus the laws and the sections as you're talking
Mm.
about, you have some grounds. Do you know what I mean? And that's what I think this lawyer is trying to push out there. He's a USA lawyer, by the way. He's not found in the UK.
Mm.
I'll get his name up. And yeah, he's pushing the right
Pushing the right
information.
information. That's what
Yeah,
it's
Especially
about.
with
It's
the
having
approach. So
information,
I
and
agree with
that's
you there.
exactly
Do you know what I mean?
Daisy's been doing. She goes
just
into
calm,
schools.
relax,
She tries to
you
talk
know.
to the youth. She tries to make them aware of themselves and aware of the
Yeah.
system that they're in because this is a system that we have to abide by right now.
Mm.
You know.
So what we're looking into as well, is parenting. We're looking into workshops with once a month, the last Tuesday and every month at TNG. We have workshops that are broken out into different rooms, meditation, bereavement. Um, for this month, we're gonna have
Mm.
um, Michael, uh, his last name, but he's he used to be a Thai kickboxing champion,
Okay.
karate. So
I know you always get these like lovely people in. I think you had a footballer down there last time. Like
yeah,
y'all have to
so
go
he,
and check out these one-on-one healings. She's been doing them. You did have some online as well at one point during the COVID, didn't you? Don't know if you're still doing the online ones, but yeah, you
yeah,
lot can all
I
join.
do have the online course as well.
All right,
You
so
know,
you lot can join if you're not
well-being
in the Lewisham Borough. You can go online to get onto
online.
these courses and get some
We can connect
extra
online and
extra
do
help.
all
You know
sorts.
what I mean? I think talking to youth especially, some parents
Definitely.
don't know how to talk to their children and
Definitely.
kind
That's
of
what
make
I'm
their
saying.
emotions 10 times worse where they can run
Yes,
into grooming arms. You see what I'm saying? So
There
yes,
is help out there, and especially in different boroughs. Do you know what I mean? Like my borough, they have. You can go and research this guys as well.
yeah,
Ooh,
what borough are
whoa.
you in? He's in Merton,
They've
Merton
got
Borough.
yeah. They got a Merton Health and Wellbeing Strategy Plan from
mm,
2019 to last till 2024, which has got a slightly update because obviously we had the COVID period as well. So
yeah.
there are how can I say it's not solutions, but we have the something
We
there
have
for the
some sort of
aftercare. It's like
abilities out there
aftercare.
to help
Yeah,
and
but we
aid
need
with.
solutions.
Yeah, it's true. We do need
Do you know what I mean?
solutions.
We have so much aftercare that's coming up. We need solutions. I have to big up Sweet Lee. She's been pushing the bleed kits,
Okay.
making sure bleed kits come in local boroughs because if the bleed kits are there, then before the ambulance, there's someone that can take tend to the
Tend
wound.
to the wound.
Do you know what I mean? At least
Yeah,
cover
'cause I
it,
think
put
they've been
pressure
trying
up.
to teach a lot
Yeah,
of that in schools
'cause
as
a lot
well.
of people
Because
are losing
people
blood.
don't know how
Yeah.
to stop a knife wound and things there. We're not trained. Like, that should be basic training for any first aider. Do
Exactly.
you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
most first aiders don't even know how to do that, and that's kind of sad. You
Yeah,
get me?
yeah,
Like, because
exactly.
you know about CPR and all of them things there. You know what I mean? Like, so
But that's
why
what's
do you
happening.
not know
Yeah, that's
about
what's
basic
happening in the
wounds,
schools.
burns? You know what I mean? You should know them things. It should be standard. Even if you're like in the shop, working in the shop, the manager of the shop and them things there, you should have that. So standardly there on the front lines of any places, because this is where I've been realizing that a lot of stabbings are happening
In key places.
in key public places,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
is very sad, because they
Yeah.
really do not care. They don't care how it affects the community. They don't care how it affects
No.
people. They don't
course
care.
not.
Do you know what I mean? Some people see these things and don't ever want to step back out of their house. You know,
Yeah.
like,
Builds a
Fearful.
psychological effect after a while.
Yeah.
Innit? And it's like
Yeah.
PTSD, like a person that served in the army. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm coming from two suburban backgrounds, one in the USA and one in the UK. So I've seen the flip of the coin. You know what I mean? New York, Brooklyn, Lexington Avenue between
yeah,
Nostrand and
US are
Bedford.
like, "Rah, what,
Deep
it's
in
nice,
it.
that bad out
Yeah,
there." I'm like,
80s
yeah,
as
fam,
well.
it's that
In
bad
the
out
80s
here.
going into the mid 90s era. And then coming into the UK and seeing it just about to form. Do you get me? So it is peak. When I
It
see the
is.
difference and the differentiation, you guys are catching up to what I'm seeing when I was 7, 8 years old. You know what I mean? So yeah, there's never a solution.
But even
No.
just
Always-
seeing it, even just seeing it is
Yeah.
a trauma in
Of
itself.
Yeah.
course, of
You know,
course.
because I'm not gonna lie,
Yeah.
like obviously our gym was we did have that kind of mentality, but it wasn't as bad as what these kids are doing it for. There's no reason. They're doing it for stripes, whereas
Stripes,
we did it
yeah.
because it got too
Defensive
far. It was a
modes,
defensive
yeah,
violation.
yeah.
You know, like that's what that was. You get me? And I saw people's cheeks get sliced open or whatever, but we never stabbed anyone to
To
death.
death.
You see what I'm saying? Like it was never that. It was like I'd rather scar your face so that every day you wake
So
up.
you learn a
know what I
lesson
mean?
type
Like,
of thing.
that's the kind of mentality our generation had. So I kind of see how the knives got incorporated into the gang life, because we weren't gangs. We were more like youth that got lost on the block because we didn't have youth clubs.
Yeah.
Our youth clubs got shut down. Like my youth club was run by Metropolitan. Then they opened up Lucian Police Station, or they were planning to, and shut down certain
That cycle
areas. Like
is
they shut
kept
down
going.
certain police. So they had to cut back on their funds. So they stopped doing our youth club. They stopped doing
That's
our
a cycle that
patrons.
keeps
They stopped-
going.
So we had to find something to do.
And they keep
you know?
cutting them.
When
Stop cutting the
TNG
youth
opened, I was
centres.
very happy. You get me?
Stop cutting down the youth centres,
It's,
innit?
know what I mean?
They keep
it's even
closing
worse
them down,
now.
opening them some.
It is worse now.
Yeah,
It's
they gotta
worse
stop
now.
this now. And community centres and youth centres need to come together and stuff now.
It's true.
You know what I mean? And
true.
work together.
Work together.
Churches
It's
that
unity.
hold community centres, we all are one now. We need to all come together.
That's
Find
why I've got a
solutions.
lot of respect for
Absolutely,
Daisy.
I
Yeah,
agree
man,
with you.
100%.
And not only that, even the churches that are closed during the week.
Big up
they
Farron
need
as
to
well.
open
Is that
up.
how you pronounce his name?
Yeah. Huh? Who? Farron.
Yeah, collecting the knives off the road.
Oh yeah, there's that brother that collects the knives off of the
Yeah,
roads,
big him
like-
up, man.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. But there's too many knives out there.
There is.
You're just gonna have to walk out there with a big electromagnet, yeah, and make it suck out of their pockets and stuff as you're walking by.
Yeah, yeah. Do you know they found a
I don't-
statue made out of knives. They made
Yeah.
a statue with
Oh, you
lots
did?
of
Oh, yeah,
art. No, not me. There's someone in
I've
another
seen it.
country made a
Seen it.
statue of knives.
Mum said she's
I've
seen it.
seen it.
Yeah, it's quite deep.
It's an angel.
It's like an angel.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
an angel's, and it's
But you know, when I see it, I don't know. I just
Yeah, it's like,
it, well, I saw it and it was. I don't know.
she's not really keen on it, man. She really doesn't sound too keen on it. You get?
But you know what?
It is art, though. It's abstract art.
I love creativity, Daisy. So it's like that jumped out at me. It does look dark though.
That kind of evilish.
Yeah, it does look dark. It does look
Is that
dark.
what you mean, Daisy? It's a bit evilish.
I prefer to say, okay, guys, if we're gonna go for visuality, just get your daisy pin and just get your daisy pin. It's at Sainsbury, East Dulwich, on Dog Canal Inn, and it's at Lee Green, Sainsbury Lee Green, and I'm so grateful that Catford Muse.
Oh,
Here in
Captain Muse
Catford.
started to do it too. Yes, I remember you putting up the post.
They have the,
It's true,
they have the
because y'all
content.
just love too much grim stuff, and I think they need some more positivity, something uplifting.
No.
You get me? So
Yeah.
yeah,
Something
y'all need
soft.
to get into this Daisy chain. Yeah, get into
Something
the
soft.
daisy chain because we're all children, right? Everyone used to
Exactly.
love a daisy chain.
Reminders.
Yeah, put down the
Gently
knives and start
reminders.
building a daisy chain out here. You get me?
Yeah,
Mm.
the yellow in the daisy, it represents each sunrise,
Okay.
Mm.
each sunset. The white is the light of carrying on,
Oh,
waking
that's
up
deep.
each day, empowering yourself each waking moment because no 2 minutes is the same. When you lose a
Yes.
child to knife crime, no
That's
second
deep
is the
message.
same.
Positive.
No day is the same. But we, as parents, friends, witnesses, volunteers, community leaders who support victims, know this pain, know and understand why a mother don't even want to come from under that duvet,
Mm-hmm.
understand why that mother don't even want to talk about it. It's a pain that no one can prepare you for, you know. And I always say to myself, I am grateful for life, for love, for bonding with my children, for understanding my children, and for the light that was given to me on this journey. Because it's not a lot of mothers have this understanding and this peace. For me, I was prepared for the loss of my son. And when I lost him,
Mm.
Amazing.
confirmation
Mm.
came to me again to say, Colette, this was beyond you. Look, he drew the day he died. He drew how he died. So his journey of light must be used in the most positive ways possible. And my way of doing this is when I see a father with a young child, a young boy, a young son, or a grandma with her grandson, or a mother with her son, I say a prayer for them, a prayer of understanding, a prayer of peace, and a prayer of hope. Because you know what? This world consists of evil and good, and people make choices. People see taking a life as a positive thing. Some people see that.
They do.
When my son said to me, Mommy, I know you're so positive, but what about somebody who think that being positive is okay to take a life? And I said, you're correct. Because it depends on their foundation, where they are in life, who they are. If somebody grew up in life angry, bitter, grew up without love, grew up feeling not supported, do you think that person will be?
Yeah, that's what I always say. That y'all gotta see how
They
the
will
other person
always have
seeing the
that
world.
hidden
Mm.
thing
It's always
within
a
them.
cause or trigger.
And we have to understand our young people as well, because some of them are in homes that are not a home.
I
Some of
always
them
I
find
always
a
say that
reason.
Father forgive them for they know not what they do.
Yes,
Mm.
some of them find a reason to have a gang as a family, which come down to our theater production, which is called Safe, that was launched on our fifth anniversary, is now going to be in schools. And this is going to be starting October. We got the funding from Lusham Homes and Phoenix Housing Association. So this is going to be in as many schools as we
As
possibly
possibly can.
can.
That's
And it's a culture. It's called SAFE. It's about gang culture. Understanding that culture
yeah,
as well.
understanding the culture. It's true because that's what
Because
I was
our
saying. It's not
children
just a
are
gang thing.
precious.
It's how that we grew,
Yeah,
and
it's
it
a
stems
culture
from
thing.
our generation. Because we grew up on most of the blocks. Most of our parents were
Same for
working
us,
very
yeah.
hard, single parents. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Big up yourselves because it wasn't easy.
Of course not.
Schools were like the main thing. Like we used to spend a lot of time in school. So, you
Or
know,
youth clubs.
schools. No, but even the
I'm
schools had to
habits.
change their the way they taught
Sentence.
children because we used to take a lot out of schools and then manipulate outside. Our parents not understanding nothing. You get
Mm.
me? And we used to do a lot. Do you know what I mean? And we became a gang on the block because there were so many kids on the block with no youth
No
club.
youth clubs.
And the joke is the elders on the block, the elder people, we used to help them with their bags and shopping. We still had some sort of respect. Whereas
Yeah,
these kids have lost their respect. Like when we lashed out in anger and whatever, the elders, the ones that has walking sticks and stuff, would say, "Ah, leave them. They're just kids."
Kid,
Do you
yeah.
see what I'm
The
saying? But
children,
they
yeah.
understood that our anger because our parents were never around. Do you see what I'm saying?
yeah,
So we learned to have respect. You get me? We got taught to earn that respect.
Respect,
Do you
yeah.
see what I'm saying? And when you got an elder talking down to your mum for you, you feel dope. Do You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So it was a feeling, it was a learning that emotion. These kids have no guidance on that. They have no guidance of their emotion. They have no guidance of
No.
Emotional
respect. They
intelligence
have
isn't there.
different
Yeah.
ways of seeing things because technology has stepped in and made it so advanced that they're taking in information at a basic level, at an excelled level, and twisting
Twisting it,
things.
yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying? It's like when you're so smart to the point that you're dumb and you haven't even experienced. You're just repeating data. Have you tried it yet? Have you tried it yet? I'm that kind of person. Do you know what I mean? So it's our generation's fault as well. Do you see what I'm saying? And the ones before us, because they
Yeah,
had
of
a
course,
little
that would be
freedom.
us.
They
Yeah.
didn't really care about teaching us. They'd rather just do what they want to do because they had more freedom than what they originally had. You know what I mean?
We saw.
And we just had that freedom, free run anyway, but we didn't need the freedom. We wanted the structure.
I
So
think
we
we all
found
want a
our own.
structure. We all want
A
a
com-
structure in some way, but it
Yeah,
weren't
we
there.
had a community
Yeah.
though. That's what I'm saying. Because of that community structure, do you see what
A
I'm saying? As much as
community.
we didn't want to be at home, we wouldn't run, go to another adult,
Adult,
would go to
yeah.
a, do you see what I'm saying? We'd explain our point, but we'd have to do it in their terminology, not our terminology. Whereas these kids just expect you to understand them. We're like, huh? Like, come again, what did you say? Can you repeat that? Can you tell me on my level? Can you talk to me?
No,
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm
no
saying? So it's
respect.
Slow
hard
down,
to have
breathe.
that communication with them where they get frustrated because they just expect us to understand because they automatically understand, and it doesn't work like that. You know, there's been a lot missing out of community
Yeah, they
rises
don't-
and how the kids are grown and how they connect and communicate with an adult or an authority.
Hmm.
Do you know what I mean? So it's changed a lot.
Yeah, they're not expressing their emotions,
They're
you
not
know.
expressing anything.
Yeah, not their inner thoughts and inner feelings, what's going on. And
That's why I
some of
agree
them,
with Daisy
some,
to do the visuals.
yeah, of course, but some people expression through art. Do you know what I mean? Hence why I run those little
That's why
poetic
I
clubs
rate
and
you.
stuff
I
like that.
always big
Do you
you
know
up
what I
for that.
mean? So they can express this through either their music or through their visual display. What I was gonna say, and the thing is, it's only a lot of people that are taking on like those creative development programs that are pushing these things in the neighborhood where they're getting this support. Do you know what I mean? And I think that needs to be pushed a little bit more. Do
That's
you know
the
what I mean?
truth. Yeah, there's no supporting behind
There's no
it.
support, and
Well,
put
there's a lot
mental
of us
health
trying
support
to
there
do
as
things,
well.
but there's no
You know what I
supporting
mean?
behind it. And Daisy's fought for a long time pushing
Definitely.
what she's doing.
You have
We
to
even had
big
to
her up.
fight for the building at one point. TNG, we couldn't let it shut down. You get me? It was it's privately owned, so
Yeah.
we had to fight for it. You know, like so. Sometimes I think we're gonna have to just try and build and just we have to put something of ourselves back into this thing because
Yeah, of
it's
course.
crazy
Of
how
course.
things are being.
Yeah, of course.
mad.
Like little things like having a mental health officer on board.
Yeah.
Every
Even a
organization having
counsellor,
one.
do you know
Even
what I
that.
mean?
Yeah.
Someone
That
to
all
talk
comes
to.
under the same
But
realm.
that's what Daisy
You know
has,
what I
Yeah.
mean?
one-on-one healing.
It's important
So if y'all
because
can't find
all
it,
that.
y'all can go
even
online.
even our parent,
And
you know,
parenting,
we
yeah,
meet
she says
Yeah.
we meet
parenting.
once a month. We have therapists in here. We have social, social care workers, you know. I myself have level 3 counseling, mental health awareness level 2, you
Mm,
know. So we are a network of caring parents in the community, and we need to keep growing that way, that once
that's
this
it.
platform is established, anyone that need help and support, know if they come knocking on our door,
That
we
is
will try our
there.
Mm,
best.
That is there. Yeah,
yeah.
fully.
That's why
you
I
know
have to big up Tara as well. Do you know what I mean? Pushing up, being layered. You know what I mean? Making sure there's a mental health support group
For
there
people.
for people, and she's in like pushing it in people's party venues as well. Like there's games and stuff that they could get involved in and make them
Doing it
themselves
in a different
more
way
aware.
that they can relate
You know
to
what I mean?
more.
So
Yeah.
I'll get her on the show to
Yeah,
explain more.
definitely.
You know
That'd
what I
be
mean?
great.
Yeah.
Share the links. Y'all can
Yeah,
find
yeah.
all these
Being
links on the
being laid
Tutus
on
page.
Instagram, on
You get me?
Instagram.
Go on the Tutus page and you'll be able to find all the links to these access to these things that you need. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
exactly.
Because I don't think it's out there enough. And anybody that is on my team, I beg you share it around so that we can start getting this spreaded awareness about. So that we can start uniting, because I think
Yeah,
it is a
exactly.
united front. And like obviously you're all the way in Merton, you're in Lewisham. There's a lot of things going on
Bring
up
it
in
all
Manchester
together.
as well, Liverpool, Birmingham. You all need that same support. You see what I'm saying? All across the UK, it's getting a bit mad out here. Even the Midlands, like I'm just hearing so much every day. I'm hearing too many children
It's like
are
spreading
dying.
like wildfire, alive.
Literally,
Like
like
a
I'm just
wildfire
seeing
that's
people
gone
drop
woof.
down like, and it
We
shouldn't
lost a
be like that.
generation.
It shouldn't. It really shouldn't
Realistically.
be like that. Yeah.
We lost the generation, nearly. You know what I mean?
It's real sad. It is real sad.
Well, each life taken Each life taken is a generation gone. This person
Yeah,
could be
that's it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
a father, could
Yep.
have 3 or 4 kids, grandkids, great grandkids.
Exactly.
It's
The whole
one. It's
chain. The
a,
whole
Chain.
chain.
Yep.
gone.
This is why y'all need to get involved in the daisy chain effect. That's what I'm gonna call it. Yeah, 322s. We're gonna call it the daisy chain effect. I'm gonna hashtag all the daisy chain, daisies for life. Y'all need to go and hashtag your stories. Put up your pictures of your loved ones. Share your stories because
Yeah, man.
people actually relate to your stories and they can hear more. They can relate more. They might be able to see a different option of how to deal with things. You see what I'm saying? And they might reach out a bit more if they see people reaching out. So do
Yeah,
make sure you
express
get your
more,
stories up
express.
there, tag it on Facebook, Instagram, any platform that you're on. Just hashtag Daisy Chain 22s and Daisy for Life, and you see it up there. Is it Daisies for Victims? Actually, it is. It's Daisies for Victims,
Yeah, we
isn't it?
we we
Daisy
actually
for
start a
victim.
petition to the mayor of London, Daisy for Victim UK, and all I'm asking is to say we need one day in the year where we in the UK can light a candle. One day in the year that we can show the networking organization throughout the communities in
Yes.
London what they're doing, the empowering, process that's
Like how
going
they
on,
got their poppies, we
you
need
know?
to lay our daisies.
Daisies down in it. They
You
got
get me?
poppies. We use daisies.
Yeah,
Straight from
Daisy,
Random
Daisy
Loss.
for Victims UK. So
Yeah.
I'm pushing for the petition for them to say yes.
Well, do
Just
send
like how
me
they
the
do the
link.
The
Send me.
Greenfield fire, just like how they
Yes.
do Save a Tree Day, Save a
They
Dog
got so
Day,
many days. We need our own day.
Save a
It's
Cat
true.
Day.
Mm.
They can say Daisy for Victim Day.
Yes,
I, you
definitely.
know,
Send me the petition and everybody locked in and locked on, even if you're worldwide, please do give
Make
it a
sure
like,
get
give it a hit,
involved.
sign that petition
Sign
for
it.
us. Let's get this daisy chain in effect. You
Yeah,
get
man.
me?
I hear that.
I'm down for this. You
Yeah, I'll
lot
wear
down
that
for this?
daisy. I'm
'Cause I
wearing it more
think it's
proud
enough. I
than a
think enough
poppy
is
stuff.
enough. Do
I'm
you
not
know
gonna
what I
lie.
mean? We gotta save our brothers. We are running out of time. You know, it's been lovely having you on. Yeah. So, Daisy, make sure that you send us the link for your book as well. 5 years memoir. Yeah, y'all can check it out. Check the pictures and stuff. Her little yeah,
Check
it's
it
her
out, guys.
experience and her journey in it. So y'all can go and check that out. I think it's out on Amazon. You get me? And we'll be back next 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And y'all can throw out
Yeah.
your topics. You get me? Big up everybody that's locked in and locked on. We did see some comments, but I didn't get round to it because the comment screen ain't up there. But yeah, next time we will definitely get you in. We had technicals today, so many technical problems, and I apologize for that
ah,
too. We should have started at 1
my
o'clock.
fault, my fault. I'm not tech. I'm old school.
Yeah, she's like, I'm old school. You don't know. I love it. I love it. I absolutely love it. But it's time to bridge the old school with the
New
youngsters.
school,
And
yeah.
get the new school and the old school and the mid school
Bridge
all
that gap,
bridged
guys.
together. And let's
Ah.
put down these daisies, get the knives down, get your daisies out. You get me? Because this is what it's about, living life. Life is priceless, people. You get me? Thank you for being here, Daisy. Go and check out James Ryan
Nice
Hunt.
meeting you, Daisy.
James Ryan Hunt, our youth support group.
James Ryan
So
Hunt.
I know it's so long. JRHYS. Go and check them out. Make sure you go and give your views. Put your daisies up there with the hashtags.
Yep.
And Jaanubis, you have a show tomorrow.
I got a performance tomorrow. We got
Ooh,
a
oh, yeah, we got
performance tomorrow.
performances tomorrow.
Tomorrow at the Ravensbury. Make sure you check it out. Get your tickets, ladies and gentlemen. No, do not. No, there's no freebies. So don't be saying that and that and that and get your tickets. Yeah. All right. All
Yes,
right.
we got
all
some
right.
youngsters performing as
Innit?
well.
So
We
got some
little
big
Shaqs
names.
in the house.
Got
You
Radar.
get me?
Radar
Aye.
playing.
Yeah, you
Oh,
lot gotta come
he's
down
on
for
fire.
that, definitely. And there's Motown for your age group, mummy, on Sunday, down at the Knolls. I think the flyer's up there in the corner of the screen right
Exactly.
now.
And
Yeah,
then on
y'all
the
can check that out.
30th of September, I will be starting the show here on London Hot Radio as well
Yep.
between
What time
5
is
and
that?
7 on a Thursday. Yeah, so make sure you tune in, ladies and gentlemen.
All right,
Thanks
it was
for
a
locking
pleasure
in and the
having yous
Facebook
lot.
fan.
All right, peace out. Check us next time.